Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome back to Overwatch. So, you're going to have to bear with me here, because this video could turn into a rant. I don't want it to, but it might naturally do that. So, in the past couple of days, a new PTR patch went online. I'm sure you've probably seen the video I've put up, or someone else of the Overwatch community's put up. Roll queue. So, 222. How does this impact things? Now, I've seen the majority of the Overwatch community react fantastically to this, as we all expect. You know, everyone's in favour of it, everyone loves roll queue. It's going to sort out a lot of the competitive mode's problems, and it's going to sort a lot of the Overwatch League's viewing experience problems as well. But some people are still not happy. So, here we go then. Let's dive into the people that we just can't seem to please in the Overwatch community. So, I've seen a lot of people saying, 222, why is it coming to quick play and not just competitive? And, in all honesty, I will say I was surprised to see 222 come to quick play. I didn't think that would be a thing, I thought it would only be in competitive. And the reason I think they've done this is to get players in the mindset of what they're going to have to do, right? So, if you're creating a new account, you're level 0, or level 1 I should say, and you go into the game, you go into quick play, which is inevitably the first mode you're probably going to play, if you've never played the game before, and you can pick whatever you want. Say you've got a Widowmaker, Hanzo, Ashe, Pharah, McCree, and Soldier on your team. Yay! Let's go, let's have some fun. But then you get to level 25 and you want to really make this serious and you want to go into competitive. We can't play comps like that. Okay. Not used to this. That's why, I think. Whereas, if it's in the arcade, it's not as easily accessible. It's probably not the first mode you're going to go to. You're going to go to the out-and-out quick play, which will put you into 222. Which will get you into the mindset of, I know this is weird to say from like a point of view from someone who's never played the game before, but it puts you in that mindset of, okay, this game is based around, you know, a team comprised of healers, damage dealers, and tanks. So this is what I have to get my mindset in. We can't just go and play all DPS. And when they go into competitive, it's an easier transition. But if you're so adamant that you don't want to play 222 in quick play, there's going to be a quick play classic mode in the arcade. That's the whole reason it's going to be there, so you can play like you used to play. Why are you complaining? And from the gist we can get from Blizzard and Jeff Kaplan, it's going to be there permanently. It's not going to be like on a weekly rotation or a daily rotation. It's going to be there for whenever you want to access it. So why are there complaints about the fact that quick play is going to 222 when you're going to have the option to play quick play like it used to be? Stop complaining! Stop! Just stop! There's no need for it. So, that covers the quick play issue. But there are other issues. So, IGN have done an article about how the roll queue system benefits no one. Okay. Should we dive into this, shall we? The whole first part of the article, blah blah blah, about what roll queue is and how it's being implemented, blah 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 blah. But, okay. So this covers the Overwatch League as well as the base game. So, it says how Overwatch League has become largely dull in its second season because of the GOATS meta. I think we can all accept that. But, obviously, GOATS was moving on. Blizzard claims roll queue isn't designed to disrupt the Overwatch League. Well, of course it's bloody not. You know, if everyone naturally would pick proper comps in competitive, there would be no need for a roll queue. But you cannot have roll queue in competitive and not have roll lock in Overwatch League. It would not work. The disparity between the league and Overwatch the game would be so big that it would be hardly recognisable. So, you can't do that. If you've got to have one, you've got to have the other. So, ensuring... while recognizing the benefits, I'm reading from the article here, while recognizing the benefits of role queue and understanding that it has been designed by people far more knowledgeable of the tiny intricacies of Overwatch's makeup than the person who was writing it, I do have a couple of key concerns. This is the person writing it. Firstly, it feels like Blizzard is dictating the experience of the whole Overwatch community based on the actions of just the top tier players. What? What? What game have you been playing for the past 3 years? It is not just the top tier players that want role queue. Pretty much the whole Overwatch community want role queue. I am a plat player, a plat main tank. I want role queue. I don't want 3, 4, 5 DPS in my games which lose my game at hero selection. I don't want that. I'm not an Overwatch League player. I'm not a pro player. Far, far, far from it. So, I would like to debunk that statement immediately. And I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. If anything, some pros, I think there's more pros against it than there are lower tier players against it because of the worry that it hurts creativity. We'll get onto that in a minute. And then they go on to say, I understand applying role queue to competitive, but making it mandatory in quick play, effectively the school play yard of Overwatch, it feels like Blizzard's enforcing exactly how fans should play. A classic quick play. You know, it's just so you get new players into the mindset so they don't go into competitive completely alienated. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, you know, then they go on to say the average Overwatch player is also presumably going to suffer in queue times. Well, they've warned of this. With damage such a popular role, the only 2 damage players being allowed in a match, those looking to take Soldier 76 or whatever. And then they say this sort of thing, this queue time thing, that's the kind of thing that begins as a niggle and could potentially evolve into a rot. Blizzard know this. Did you watch the dev update? Did you watch it? They know that this could be an issue in the future, and they are working to sort it out. They have given incentives for the not as well played roles, not as often played roles. The roles with less players, I should say. You know, and those incentives will change over time. Jeff said there's a lot of knobs he can turn, there's a lot of numbers you can change that can sort things out. So, you know, yes, I understand your point there, but it's been acknowledged already. It's already a point that's been acknowledged by the devs themselves. They know this could be a potential issue. They've always said this could be a potential issue with role queue. Okay. But beyond those issues, and I'm talking from the article again, there is the fact that if role queue does become a permanent addition to Overwatch, it will rob both the game and the sport of one of its most exciting and useful features, flex. At the top tier and in professional play, the biggest thrills often come from players opting for a mad hero switch to characters like Torbjorn or Symmetra, and executing an impossible tactic that somehow flips the tables and wins the match. While role queue isn't so restrictive that hero switching is impossible, it does heavily limit what type of switching can be performed and thus shrinks tactical potential. Okay. Right. Yes. It does limit the amount of creativity you can have. You're not going to be able to play... okay, the best example here is when last year, in the inaugural season, when the Gladiators played the London Spitfire. We were in the beginning of GOATS, and this was just before the playoffs, I think, and sure for this was on King's Row. London were defending, and Gladiators ran out of tank-heavy comp. They started rotating through the hotel and round behind the Spitfire. Little did Spitfire know that Gladiator's Brigitte was not with them. He was still in spawn, it was sure for. He then switched to Widow once London Spitfire had rotated and had a plethora of supports and squishies in front of him which he just annihilated. It is one of the greatest plays I've ever seen in Overwatch, the greatest bamboozle. So, yes, it limits that sort of thing. But that sort of thing is actually still achievable. You know, London Spitfire failed to not see that it was only 5 players rotating and not 6. Let's be honest. The hero select screen, he could be picking something else, you know? And, you know, the Torbjorn Symmetra argument is trash. You can still do that. You can still have crazy comps with Symmetra if you want to TP to point. You know, it's just going to be a damage dealer that picks up that role. There is a lot of creativity to have within 222, and people seem to forget Overwatch gets, 3 to 4 heroes a year. Creativity comes with new heroes. Look at the Hammond comps that we've seen in the past, 4 months. Especially from the likes of Chengdu Hunters. That has come from a new hero, not from a meta change or anything like that. It's not come from heroes that have been in the roster since its conception. It's come from a new hero. The same with San Francisco Shock. Look how they're utilising Baptiste, a new hero. That is where that creativity's come from. It's within GOATs, but they could still use Baptiste within 222. So, I fail. Yes, there will be a reining in of creativity, perhaps early on, but creativity will still be there. It just takes time. It takes time, dude. You've got to wait. You've got to wait. Look at Sigma. Look at this. Look at the rumours and teasers we are getting with Sigma. Sigma looks like an absolutely groundbreaking hero from what we are getting right now. So, and by the time this video goes out, maybe Sigma's on the PTR already, but Sigma could change a lot of things. We probably won't see him in the Overwatch League this year, but Sigma could, he could inspire some creativity in a team somewhere like Clockwork Vendetta are doing right now. And he could inspire a completely new comp that we see in the World Cup or in in Overwatch League's 2020 season. And it might be Sigma dominant in the meta because he's got this groundbreaking ability where he can slow everyone down and do crazy stuff. But, that's all speculation. But that comes from a new hero. That comes from the devs giving us new stuff. And that's, where creativity can come from with Overwatch. And everyone, they're always inventing new metas. Look at Clockwork Vendetta, as I referred to just now. That's a new meta that's having really good success in European contenders. And you've got the Halt Hook Oink and Yoink at the moment that is very dominant. And that's a new meta. Although it's been around for a long time, it's now coming to the forefront. And it changes things up. And no doubt the meta will change again. We may get, maybe Sigma's a main tank and he'll change the meta, Their creativity, and this is what I'm saying, is still there. So, my final point. And their final point on IGN. The recent Stage 3 finals of the Overwatch League saw San Francisco Shock face off against the Shanghai Dragons. And both teams used teams, which is really confusing. Can you please use the right terminology? And both teams used comps that would not be permitted under the rules of role queue. They did at times, yes. It's also important to note that neither team opted for GOATs. Yes. Which perhaps demonstrates that the meta was naturally losing its own steam. Yes. The possibilities of a new meta combination are endless under the new system, but with role queue, whatever comes next will likely consist of the same duos of tanks, damages, supports, and the majority of professional teams. Yes and no. Tanks, you will always have a main tank and an off tank. You are always going to have that, simply because off tanks don't have shields. They don't. And in Overwatch, you've got to negate damage somehow. List our main tanks. Reinhardt, big old shield. Orisa, big old shield. Winston, bit of a different shield, but he's still got one. List our off tanks. Hog, ult battery without a shield. Diva, ult battery without a shield. Zarya, trash without a shield. Wrecking Ball is a weird one, but he's basically going to be trash without a shield now. So, it's always going to be main tank, off tank. You're not going to have off tank in most cases, because it just doesn't work. You don't see Roadhog Diva comps, you don't see Zarya Diva comps, you don't see... Well, you might see Hammond Diva comps, but they just don't work. So I don't like that thing of, you're always going to get the same duos of this, this, and this. You're not going to get the same duos of damage. That's not going to happen, because damage heroes, I think, out of all of the roster, damage heroes are going to be so map specific in 2-2-2, I think. Like in Ilios, you're going to see a lot more Pharah and a Widowmaker. You know, in Oasis, you're not going to really see Widowmaker, you're probably going to see more McCree. You might even see Mei and Reaper. On Li Shang, you can also see Mei, Reaper, you can also see a bit of Pharah. It's map specific. Supports? Support's in a funny place. Moira's not really viable at the top end of things, especially if you don't go into tank heavy comps. Mercy will probably be rejuvenated at the top end of things. Zen is always very good. Lucio, he'll always be okay. We might see Zen Lucio. Anna, she'll be very powerful, because Anna is very powerful anyway at the moment. Brigitte is reworked, so we don't know where Brigitte will be at. Baptiste will be Baptiste. He's used in certain situations. If we see a lot of Bunker, you'll see a lot of Baptiste. So, yes, you may get a bit of staleness in what you see from support, although I'm not even sure that could be map specific as well. I don't think you'll get stale damage compositions and tanks. We don't really have enough tanks to have a really, really diverse meta in tanks right now. Reinhardt is trash. Orisa is really powerful. Winston can't do much to Orisa. So that's where we're at with tanks right now, and that's why we need to sort it out, Blizzard. But going back to the Stage 3 finals, yes, we didn't see much GOATs. We saw a lot of different compositions, but if I remember rightly, what we saw the most was actually Oink and Yoink. It was Orisa Roadhog. It was 222. So, yeah. I don't have much to say after that. Even the San Francisco Shock ran a really funny team on Oasis just to try and match the Shanghai Dragons on their 222 Roadhog Orisa Oink and Yoink comp. Yeah. Shall we move on? I just needed to get this off my chest. It's been a bit of a long video. It frustrated me, no end. I don't know why people are complaining about 222. Blizzard? No, there might be issues early on. That's the whole reason there's going to be a beta season. Because they know there might be issues earlier on, and they want to fix it. They know there might be problems with queue times. They want to fix it. They're moving to fix it. And in terms of quick play, your answer is literally in the dev update. Go and watch it, and please stop complaining. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.